Hello everyone. Let's talk about the latest news making headlines in Cameroon today, the 5th of August 2025. The country's highest court, the Constitutional Council, has rejected the candidacy of Professor Maurice Kamto to the disappointment of many people. Professor Maurice Kamto is one of Cameroon's prominent opposition figures, and the decision today comes after Elecam, the electoral body, had already disqualified him because his party, Manidem, submitted multiple candidacies coupled with leadership squabbles with Jodone Yebga. Jodone Yebga is the other person who also submitted under Manidem. His file was also rejected by the Constitutional Council. So what does this mean? Well, it's now official. The October 2025 election will go on without Professor Maurice Kamto. And that's huge because Kamto was the runner-up in the 2018 election, coming in second only to President Paul Biya. Now that he's been barred from running, will he push his supporters to back an opposition coalition? I'll be coming back to that shortly. But is this also, as many are speculating, a strategy by the government in place to get rid of one of the country's strongest opposition so that they can continue to cling to power? That is also another question. But Professor Maurice Kamto is not the only file that was rejected. We have several other candidates like Besiping and Tim Jacob. They also saw their files or appeals thrown out by the Constitutional Council after Elecam initially disqualified them. So it means that Elecam simply started the job and the Constitutional Council completed the job for them. Let's talk about the case of Bisimping. He is a former civil servant. His documents had some key missing elements, like eligibility documents were missing in his file. So he argued at the Constitutional Council that the government owes him unpaid benefits, which is money that he could have used to help pay the 30 million francs CFA candidacy fee that is required for him to run for post of president. So his story highlights the struggles of civil servants in Cameroon who, after years of service, are left with nothing. He said that he wanted to become president to fix these issues, but the court just crushed that dream. His story has been a very sad one because it's got a lot of people in Cameroon talking. People have even started contributing money to see how to assist him. He took the problem to the court because he felt like he was not being listened to. This is someone who has served, worked with the government for so many years, and then they stopped paying him. How has he been surviving? That is the question. Then there's Ndim Jacob, a farmer from Boya, frustrated by lack of farm-to-market roads and the ongoing crisis in the English-speaking regions of the country. Like Bisimping, he personally pleaded his case in court today as well, explaining that separatist fighters seized his documents while he was gathering signatures in the Anglophone regions. He asked for more time to recover them, but no luck. His disqualification proves just how hard it is for ordinary citizens to challenge the system. Well, couldn't Tim Jacob or the other candidates have succeeded to unseat Biya? The answer could be no. But what does it tell us? It tells us that many people are so fed up with the system that they believe that whoever they are, bike riders, taxi drivers, even cleaners, whoever they are, teachers, even doctors, they believe that they've got what it takes to replace a 92-year-old man who is in power. They believe that 43 years is enough to get rid of a system that has been there, and they have not been feeling the impact of the economic policies, social policies, the political atmosphere is so chaotic. And talking about the political atmosphere, which is very chaotic, ahead of the ruling today, security was tightened across Yaoundé, especially around the courthouse. Officers arrested several people, including some of Kamto's supporters, just to show how tense the atmosphere in Cameroon now is. You cannot speak anyhow. But one arrest stood out, that of Gabrielle Suga. She is a first-year journalism student from Asmak who was covering the hearings for the Post newspaper. She, according to the information we got, was mistaken for a protester and she had to spend the night in custody just for doing her job. She's now been released, but it took calls from the committee, organization, press freedom organizations in Cameroon, from female colleagues, male colleagues, the Cameroon Association of English-speaking journalists, for her to be released. We saw how her detention shows how far authorities in Cameroon will go just to silence the people, to silence dissents. Back to opposition coalition. Will Professor Maurice Kamto back an opposition coalition? There have already been talks among some opposition candidates, including Tomaino Damjoya, Jacques Bois, Hakbe. We also have Barrister Akere Mona, Serge Espoir Matomba, and Celestine Bisigi about unifying or uniting behind a single consensus candidate. So Professor Maurice Kamto was part of the first round of the discussions, but he skipped the second meeting, which took place in Fumban in the West region, and that was before the court frustrated his candidacy. Just before I go, I've been seeing a lot of discussions that points to the chronic cancer that is plaguing Cameroon at the moment, tribalism, people identifying others based on where they come from, where they find themselves, where they belong. I've also seen a lot of debates around, you are from the Northwest, an Anglophone cannot lead the country, someone from the West region cannot lead the country, someone from the littoral or from the far North region cannot lead the country. Who gave you that right to make that decision, to think that other people from other parts of the country do not have what it takes to run the country? How did we even get here, where we've started thinking about borderlines, when we've started thinking about or defining people based on where they are coming from, treating people based on who they are, based on what language they speak, based on where they come from? How did that discussion even start? How did we get here? It's so sad to see that the major problems that are plaguing the country, affecting everyone, bad roads, accidents, people from across the board have lost one or two relatives because of the bad roads. People have lost relatives because of the war in the far north, in the northwest, southwest. People have lost a lot because of the economic stagnation. People have been suffering. People have gone through difficulties. So if there's any possibility of change, if you think someone else from your locality is more qualified than the other, is he going to be running or ruling people just within your locality, or is he going to be ruling people across the nation? English or French is not even your local language. It's a foreign language. It's a borrowed language. It doesn't define who we are in Cameroon. The cultural diversity, it should be an advantage for everyone in the country. It shouldn't be a tool that people are using to divide each other. So whether the next president of Cameroon comes from the Northwest, from the West region, from the littoral, from the center, from the far North region, it doesn't matter. Whether I choose to defend a candidate from the Northwest, from the far North, from the littoral, from the West, it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, every Cameroonian, I think every Cameroonian wants change. And we think 2025 should be that opportunity for people to start thinking differently and probably coming together.